I probably shouldn't have to say this, but workplace discrimination is serious business. I mean, puns aside, getting fired because you're gay or transgender, that's just wrong. And it's not fair. Not quite my tempo. So, what can we do about it? Well, we're trying to get a law signed in Pennsylvania. We want to make it illegal to fire someone based on sexual orientation or gender identity. And while that's only a start, it's a good one. Last Tuesday, I attended a hearing that would decide the fate of such a bill in the state capitol. The council heard cases of discrimination and heard many of the benefits of this law. They also heard cases against the bill. Several speakers talked about why we don't need a bill and why this bill would be bad for business. So, what were each side saying? Let's take a look. The pros. Eliminating fear. Employees should be allowed to be who they are. If you have employees who are afraid to be themselves or express themselves, their work is going to suffer. Living in constant fear of being outed or unable to engage with other employees leads to worker dissatisfaction as they fail to have any significant social engagement with other employees. They also begin to feel that their value as an employee has dropped and that maybe their other employees are worth more than they are just because they're not gay or trans. Number 2, improving workplace conditions. A workplace that has employees who are free to be transparent with each other is going to flourish. They are going to form social bonds, and that can lead to increased productivity. Happy employees generally work harder and are more productive than miserable ones. Number 3, making Pennsylvania competitive. Now we know that millennials are more fluid and open about sexual orientation and gender identity than previous generations. Further, they're going to want to live and work in places that understand this and are accepting. Otherwise, they're going to leave. They're going to move to Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, New York, or California. Unfortunately, it needs to be said, many of the outlying areas of Pennsylvania have backwards thinking, old ideas, and old ways of doing business. We must address the racism and bigotry rampant in areas like Northeast Pennsylvania. It's hurting opportunities to grow the area and bring even more business here when there is such significant brain drain going on. Wilkes-Barre City Councilman Tony Brooks even talked about it in his own city. We have 2 excellent colleges where kids can get a great education, but where will they build their career? Will they stay in an area that is unfriendly to them, especially if they are LGBT or other minorities? Probably not. The cons. Meanwhile, the opposition speaks. One of the things they talked about was the ineffectiveness of current laws. This was one of the more shocking opposing arguments. It was from a member of the Chamber of Commerce. Essentially what he said was that because current laws aren't very effective, we don't need more laws. Now this is a very subversive thing to say because there's no way to prove it. How do you prove that these laws are more or less effective? So you could easily say that they're very effective and mean the same thing. It appeals to the arguments many people make against any new law. In general, most people want more freedom, not less. And the idea of a new law or rule makes it sound like they're getting less freedom. But the opposite is true here. Anti-discrimination laws give people more freedom, especially for the LGBT community. It gives us the freedom to be ourselves. It gives us the freedom to love who we love. More freedom, not less. The impact on business. Another argument was that this law will be a drag on businesses. The idea here is that businesses will be too busy dealing with discrimination to do business. They won't have time to get work done to hear all these cases. Which is ironic, seeing as how another argument was that these cases are rarely black and white, and that these laws are largely ineffective. Also, if a business is being discriminatory of its employees, how do they keep those employees to begin with? Businesses have to be accepting. They need to have a wide diversity in order to be a successful business. Unless, of course, corporations are outright abusive and exploitative of their employees to begin with. But that's another topic. Number 3, religious freedom. And this is the big one. As mentioned earlier, people want more freedom. There are those people who believe that the LGBT community and everything we represent goes against what they believe. They believe that God hates homosexuals and that being transgender is equally sinful. They don't believe they should have to serve or work with people who are queer because it goes against their belief. Whether or not these beliefs are right or wrong, that's up for debate. The problem is, religion is so open to interpretation that various parts of the Bible can be twisted in ways that would mean or say almost anything. The Bible can be used to justify almost any behavior or consequence thereof. It's impossible to say whose religious beliefs are being violated and which religion gets more favor. Christianity. But even certain sects of Christianity are okay with LGBT people. So how does this work? It doesn't. Religious freedom is a specious argument at best, because there's no reason you can't serve or work with someone whose beliefs are different from your own. In fact, Jesus Christ said to serve and love all people. All people. Did I stutter? So the hearing we attended was a fantastic look at how government works. There were so many great points being made. For example, somebody said, you cannot fire someone whose position has nothing to do with your religious beliefs. Everyone benefits when laws are fair and just, while everyone suffers when laws are discriminatory and unfair. The roots of these laws are based on the fact that there will always be someone who will discriminate against someone else, for whatever reason. And then you have religious freedom, which is based on the robust theology of segregation. Religion itself is discriminatory in that it seeks to exclude groups and destroy opposing ideas. You can say that you're all inclusive and you can bring everybody in, but if you disagree with their lifestyle or disagree with who they say they are, it doesn't really work. These same arguments have been used to keep minorities from gaining power for thousands of years and deny them their dignity and respect. As Pat Brown said, he has an interest in making Pennsylvania competitive. That's why he agrees with this law. I think he's going to vote for it. The economy of this state was built by accepting all people, and it goes all the way back to William Penn, who was a Quaker himself and believed in diversity. To continue discriminating could only serve to destroy what we've built. So what can we do about it? Well, you need to get involved. Get involved. Write to your legislators and make your voice heard. And if they aren't listening, get out and vote. Head to the polls and elect people who will listen to you and do what's right. Oh, and one more thing. Could you go ahead and just click that subscribe button? Thanks for watching.